Hey everyone, welcome back. Stephen and John from Davin European Martial Arts School. We got a question on one of our videos about feeling the bind and how to react to it. This came from a user called Sir Lags-A-Lot, and I wanted to address this because it's a very good question. And once you understand what the bind is and how to utilize it, it makes it much easier to move past it. Sound like a plan?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Remember, if you like what you see here, please hit the subscribe button below and the notification icon. Get notified of all the new videos that we put up. We see the bind referenced in Fjord's manuscript as well. He actually has two different options for it. Well, he has more than two, but there's two that I'm going to reference today. And these two binds, feeling of the bind, are done with a pommel strike. And the difference between these two pommel strikes is the distance. Or, I was telling you about Fjord. Go ahead and do that again. So we're in here, he's pushing hard, so I let go, and then I just pommel him in the teeth. That's Fjord's first thing. And well, one of his pommel actions off the bind. I don't want to do it from way out here like I did, because that's a bad idea. You would love that.
I would really be happy if you did.
So this action occurs off the bind as I step in. And I just hit him that way. You okay?
Good.
That's our first pommel bind. But I'm going to do that more if he's a little softer. Go ahead and do that again. So he's here, he's pushing into me, and he's stepped that way. So I'm going to let go, and there's our pommel bind. Then after I give him that first pommel strike, then I hit him with my sword. Zombieland was on to the right idea. Remember to double tap. This is how you protect yourself from getting hit as well. So if he's very hard, I'm going to go this way and then step forward. And I just drive into the head. That wasn't too hard, was it?
Nope, perfectly fine.
Don't act so much because they're going to believe that I'm just beating on you, Todd. I mean, John. So, I want to use my footwork to walk in with my pommel strike. That puts my entire body into the blow. And this, in the manuscript, is where Fjord says you will make his teeth blossom. This is not a good idea in a tournament or with somebody that you would like to continue to keep as a friend. This will damage their mask and very possibly their head. Be aware of that. The safest way, if you're going to use the pommel, is from a standstill with just your arm, and that's still a lot of force being put through. Be very, very careful of pommel work. Why?
You have a lot of force located in a very small location, generated in a linear line.
And it works.
It works really, really well. You actually have whiplash to the head behind the mask, and all that force centered on the mask can actually crumple that in that one location.
And so we want to be very careful of these, so keep that in mind. So we have two pommel actions off the bind. The first one is stationary with just a pommel strike, and the second is with a step where I drive into his face. But that's when he's coming straight at me, right?
Yep.
If he's moving to the side, and I'm here, right? Now at this point, if he changes that because we're in this locked position, and then he decides to push through me, all I'm going to do, oh, that was great. Go back, do that again. He did that with a tuta volta, so we're here, go ahead and hit me. He countered my tuta volta with a tuta volta driving into my head. Go ahead and do that again.
Sure.
And it just puts it right there, doesn't it?
It does.
Can I counter that?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. We live and work by the rule of KISS here. Keep it super simple. Keep it simple, stupid, whichever way you want to go. The best defense against that counteraction is woman's guard. So we do that again. He pushes through, and I go to woman's guard. Then I just hit him. So let's go and do that again. And it's fast.
It's very fast.
And tell me how much this looks like, one of the pictures from the manuscript.
This is directly from one of the photos in the manuscript.
Yeah, I'm up on my back toe, I'm ready to go forward. Now, I can choose to hit him with my sword or other things. So let's do a quick review. You come in and you're hard. How do I know if you're going to be hard on your bind?
If I'm stepping straight at you, so my body's moving directly into your body, which means my sword is going to be traveling towards your right line.
Right. And if my opponent is hard in his bind, I'm going to go with him. So it just pushes into his head. If he's softer and moving on the circle, I'm going to use my back foot to take that same line. Keep going down. And he pushes into himself. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Once I understand how to utilize those binds, that's where I can put in my pommel work. Go ahead and give me because we fenced, and I know that you come straight in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
With a blow, go and do it again.
Linear?
Yeah. With a pommel strike, do it again. With a straight pommel strike, without the extra step.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel the difference?
I did. Yeah.
And I can do the same thing to the other side as well. But the key is, once we get into this bind, if I'm not countering with my footwork and a strike, I'm doing it by going to woman's guard. And that transference to woman's guard gives me the options I need. If I want to be closer, I find the bind with a closing action. Go ahead and give me the blow again. Now, he surprised me a little bit because he was going this direction. I was expecting him to be a little lighter. That's okay. My woman's guard still worked, didn't it?
It did.
All right. Go ahead, and I'm not going to move. You're going to hit me.
Okay.
Now you can put a little more in it. Yeah, that was good. Do it again. And there's my action. One more time.
Yep.
And there's my pommel strike. And it can lead into so many other things. Let's go and take off our masks. Thank you for the question. Please understand that I gave you a very limited number of reactions to a bind. Take from this the understanding that you will often, not all the time, but often recognize whether they are going to be hard or soft in their bind by the direction in which they step. I bring up the lead foot, back foot moving to the angles, because we also see that in German quite often. If we're facing each other, and he's in woman's guard, and I'm in ox, right? Then I'm gonna get this. Now, I didn't step, but if you look at the angle of my feet, it's the equivalent of stepping.
It is.
Because I turned my body into that same angle. Can you stand right next to me? We're not gonna do any sword work, go on guard. And then do the tuta volta with your back foot that direction.
Yes, sir.
On three. 1, 2, 3. Really similar in position.
Very similar.
And then recover. And then go with your lead foot this direction. And that changes, here's where we see the big difference. And I would do that one if you'll stand there again. If I'm here to get that angle. So I can get either side. But what I'm doing is I'm moving around the line, which means you can counter the strength of my bind with the placement of your foot. Would you agree?
I would agree, yes.
So John, do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
Yes, because we're giving a very small concept of what we can do in a bind, to feel the bind. we go back to much of the time you can do the same thing to counter somebody in an action in the same thought pattern here. You have two actions. You can go hard with your footwork to step into the angle of my strike to push through and hit me using my strength. That's hard to my hard, but you're countering it because of your angle. Or soft by going to woman's guard as I push through your sword to step into the pommel strike. So thinking in the area there that I can still go soft or hard and counter to their action, depending on where I am and what I've seen coming forward.
Great. I'm going to add one more layer to that. You can go hard with your feet and soft with your sword.
Ah.
Right?
Yes.
Because I can step into it to give myself a hard position with my feet, get yield with my sword, so I'm soft with my sword.
But still hard with your feet, meaning that you can actually move to that next stronger position.
Everything you do should lead to the and then. If you are in the now, you're too late. You must be in the and then. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Nothing more on that.
Thank you very much for your help.
Very welcome,
Thank you for
sir.
hitting me in the head. Those were good hits.
Thank you.
Good job,
You're
man.
welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, I know you like doing that. It's good. Take care, guys.